Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whenever you're watching this video, I just want to say thanks for being here. If you've been watching this video, so if you've been watching all my videos, thank you, appreciate it. If this is your first time, I also appreciate it. Make sure you go and watch all other videos I've made for the last 2 months. Today I marked the day of 23rd of October, so we are almost having 1 week before we cross an entire October, and eventually we move on to November. So today, as usual, woke up in the morning, took the bus. Nothing unusual, nothing new. I spent the whole day pretty much sort of killing the data and trying to figure out on how to do the research, which is coming up on Thursday. On Sunday I was supposed to finish the research by today, but it was really not, I could not do the whole data, how to kill the data, figure out the question, change things around, find some citations. But now everything's done, everything's cleared, and I think it's ready to go. I also did not have a lecturer. There was no lecturer today, so the day was reserved for this midterm paper. I have like 1 day, so I'm hoping that tonight I should be able to finish the data and start writing the introduction, explain the data, and then conclusion, what I found and all those things, see if there's any missing. I want to make sure that by tonight, within 2 hours, I should be able to finish all that. And maybe tomorrow and just do a review and check if there's any missing, if anything that is missing, because tomorrow I'm gonna be signing the release, the new apartment release, and then Saturday I have a party, Sunday I have to submit the paper. So the earlier I do it, the better, so I don't have any other responsibilities. Also, I signed up, I think I mentioned this in my other video, I signed up for a class called Adobe Creative, which is like learning how to edit videos and those things. But I haven't attended it for like 3 days, for like 2 weeks. So because I'm been super busy, like I don't even have time to attend these classes, which are from like I think they're from 1 o'clock until 4 p.m. It's a very long class, so it's on Zoom, so I've been able to make it. So other than that, I just want to give an overview of where I am. Yesterday I gave a little bit of an sort of my updates, where I am, what I've done, and I won't be, in the next coming month, I won't be making videos like this inside the closet. Hopefully it's going to be in the apartment and everything should be able to function as normal, as perfect. So I'm hoping, right, once I'm on apartment, things should be great. And I can also make videos while I'm cooking, so I don't have to make videos. I haven't cooked for a long time. So anyways, I'm working on the research about the data, about the working back, the story behind this. I've been making videos about the poverty trap, right? Poverty trap, why poor people are poor. I'm gonna pause a little bit on that topic. I'll be back on it in the next, once this project is done. But I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing right now, which is a research paper that talks about the individual earnings. So back in 1970s, the United States had financial crisis, and a lot of people were thrown in jail because of the expensive oil. The price of oil was high, and by 1974-75, the government of the United States introduced a program specifically targeting people that can't go to school or go to university. They targeted these people and they gave them some kind of the program, like training program, to assist them in ensuring that they get educated, they get trained, and they can be able to perform or function in society. And then the government spent about $3 billion in 1974 to train many Americans, different age groups, different race. And then by 1978, the price of these programs went from $3 billion to $9 billion. So more and more people were getting involved, getting trained. These programs they are known as vocational programs. Like today we call them vocational programs. Things like coding boot camp, things like fixing air conditioning or electricity. Those are the things that we need in our society. We need people who can fix things without building them. Like an electrician does not need to know how to discover new electricity or make electricity more efficiency, but they need to know how to fix it if it's broken, replace new tools, new stuff. So you need those people, and they make a lot of money. They are known as trade. They don't really create new things. They just focus on what is already in there. And most likely they don't really have the chance. They either didn't make it in college, or they didn't have enough money to go to college, or they couldn't handle the college pressure, so they choose those programs. So in the 70s, those programs were introduced, and they spent a ton of money, and within 5 years that money doubled. Actually in 2 years, from 1974 to 1978, that was 4 years gap, the money doubled, almost $9 billion. So every time there is more expenses, every time there is more high-priced stuff, it attracts the economists. Economists are interested in something that is growing, the growth. Whether the growth goes down or go up, economists they come in and they study. We are not the same as financial analysts who just look at numbers. We study the correlation, the efficiency, and the causality, the relationships, those kind of things. So the economists started studying whether these programs were effective, because the money was going up. They were spending so much money, but they didn't really necessarily know if people who are actually getting trained, if they're going out there to make money. Is their income before they got trained go up after they got trained, or stay the same? If the income went up, did the income go up because they got trained, or it went up for other reasons, maybe because they were already older? Maybe if they went to the program at the age of 18, now they are, I don't know. So if they went to the program at the age of 20, now 4 years later they are 24. Maybe they have been, as they grow older, they earn more money. So a researcher, an economist, his name is Robert Lalonde, he came up with a new ways of statistics. He started testing and retesting econometrics, and he produced the data, a new ways of data. One was called controlling group, another one was called non-controlling groups. So instead of looking at the people who got trained to become electrician, plumber, etc., and then see how much they make, he had a group of people who were not. He had a group of people who did not participate in the program. Then he had the people who participated in the program. Then he looked at both groups. That's what they call controlled versus uncontrolled group. And this data came out, and it turns out that what they think that if you don't have a high education, you can still make more money. There was huge error. He found there's no correlation. But he found out that the more older you are, the more money you can make, and the very huge statistics. So his data was used by so many people because it was very controversial. So it became popular, in 1990s, the 2000s to this day. His data is still popular. It's called Ronde data. So people were like disapproving it, testing it, looking at how accurate it was. So what I'm doing right now in econometrics, studying the statistics, understanding, my goal is to use his data, and instead of testing the income against the training program, I'm going to be testing to see does other characteristics play a role. So characteristics will be things like being white versus being black versus being Hispanic. What about the age? Do you earn more money the more older you are? I look at the age when they are pre-program and the age post-program. What about the other things like gender, male versus non-male? Do you make more money when you are a male? You make more money if you are not a male. If you are, what about if you are married? Do you make more money when you're married, or you don't make enough money when you're not married? Then what about if you combine some of these two? So if you are like 24 before the program and you're single, but then 24 years later you are married, 4 years later you are married, and you are now having two income, does that affect the way you earn? So those are the things that I gonna be looking at. I already run the data. I have a statistics already. I already had a coefficient. I had the robustness. I have heterodexicity, and those are the things that I needed to be used to test the statistics. So I'm hoping that tonight I'm gonna be able to write it. So when I came from campus, I didn't really have anything like the computer. I just noticed this too. This is the beauty of living in DC, is that when I came from the campus, it's like an hour to get here to where I am. So when I was coming in a bus, I actually brought my laptop. I started recording. So by the time I reached here, I already recorded the whole paper, like the whole thing I needed. So tonight I'm gonna be spending another 2 hours, probably 3 hours, sort of writing the paper, and just writing a draft, because I needed 10 pages. So 10 pages that include the graphs, that include the tables and those things. And then I already have I already wrote the formatting of the paper, so everything is lined up with the heading. So I'm gonna just start writing, and eventually I'm hoping that I can finish within 2 hours. I write pretty fast, so once the idea starts coming in, I can type for faster than you can imagine. So my goal is that if I can at least finish an entire introduction, that's the hardest part, because you need to introduce the ronde, then describe why you're doing this data, why you're studying it, what you're trying to find, what you're trying to disapprove, then talk about the data that you just did, describe the data, then talk about the data findings, describe the data findings, then summarize, then conclude, then finish the data. That's how when you do the citation. So that's all you need to do. That's research paper is not the same thing as an essay. You describe what you did, then the findings, then you are done. So my hope is that I'll be able to finish this tonight. Then tomorrow I'll spend time reviewing, revising, and checking if things are correct, if things are great, and move on from there. Other than that, thanks for watching, and like always, please go check my other videos and let me know what you think. I'm trying to do better, trying to record more and more as I can. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow on Friday 24th. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.